Hi, everybody. So there were some technical difficulties. I'm working on actually bringing you all some higher quality video. So I just need you to just kind of just be, to be honest, be patient with me because it's really actually a lot harder than it looks. Um, and yeah, so I'm gonna just be playing with that. This is the second Saturday um, that I've tried to do to do that. It's really not working out. So if there's one of you out there that knows how to do that and is available to help, um, please let me know. It's really bright. Give me a second. I'm gonna have to shift my lighting so that it's a little bit more appropriate for the camera that I'm using. I'll be right back. All right, and we're back to our regular kind of lighting that we normally have on a Saturday. So it's Miss Steph. I am the founder. Let's think. Hey, hey, great to be with you all today. We are going to be transitioning to only doing a broadcast via Facebook, and then it will go up on YouTube later in the afternoon. We're not going to do the simulcast for just a little while. Until I really can get it the way that I want it and at the quality that I want it. And I know that you all are going to be patient with me and that it's going to be fun. All right. So we are going to hop right in to our two activities today. As you know, we got two activities. You can see a little bit of the action down here. Um, might actually kind of make use of that. So there. Yeah, so it's great to be with you today. Please, please, please join in with me. We are going to do a little Play-Doh. Actually, I haven't made Play-Doh in a while. Definitely haven't made Play-Doh live. So hey, let's do it. I'm always making slime, making things boil and trouble and trouble. But I'm going to make Play-Doh. I did quite a bit of research before today's live and got some information. And there's a way to make Play-Doh with 2 ingredients. And then to just add some food coloring to it and give it some color and some fun. And then after I make the Play-Doh, of course, you know how I am. We have to have some type of experiment. So, we're going to do 2 versions of the Play-Doh, and I'll talk to you about it. Welcome. That is hi. Hello in the comments so I can tell you are. Um, and we're going to, why is that doing that? All right. And so we're going to make Play-Doh through this base recipe, and then I'm going to alter it, and we'll talk about those different the differences that I get by adding this one additional ingredient. It's a common one that we use, so I feel like you're not going to be surprised when you see the 2 base ingredients, and then when you see my add-on, you're not going to be surprised, and it's going to be kind of cool, guys. Then I'll kind of walk you through doing some building because we have done so I wanted to break out our straws, which the students you all haven't seen for a couple of months, and talk you through how you might try this at home to just introduce you to it, because maybe you might want to get that for yourselves at home, and also to just remind you how most of your engineers and really like to build things and try new things. All right, so Play-Doh and the straws. All right, I'm gonna put it in the comments. Play-Doh. I'm going to spell the dough properly because Play-Doh, D-O-A, is actually a patented thing in very specific. That's what we're going to make dough that we can play with, right? We know the difference, guys. Play-Doh and straws. That's what we're rocking out today. And for those of you wondering, how can I support this awesome, wonderful program? How can I engage and provide them with what they need? Because again, this transition has been interesting for all of us. How can you do that? Well, you can make a contribution, and I'm going to list the link in the comments below as far as where you can contribute. And I will also, the computer sounded a little, and also give you some links for other stuff. But anyways, my focus right now is to just let you know how you can support our work. All right, it seems like that's kind of turning and churning a little bit. There we go. Okay, so yes, so that's what we've got going on. Boom, fabulous. Thank you for the like so that I know that you're there. You know, if you give me a like and all that kind of stuff, I know that you're there. It's not about me like trying to get your attention or whatever. It lets me know that you're there. Who on, and also act in the social way. So let's jump right into the Play-Doh first. Okay. Once again, Play-Doh and not dough. Okay, so you can kind of see in the mirror what I've got rocking here. I have some beakers. I've got 2 beakers because, like I said, I always like to be able to kind of compare. I like to have at least 2, if not 3. My favorite is 3, to have at least 3 samples, but we'll do 2 today. We're going to make 2 types of Play-Doh that are actually have got like these simple ingredients. If you peep the kind of preview late last night while I was testing. And so we've got these 2 beakers. I like to use my beakers. These are my 500 milliliter beakers. And we are going to use cornstarch for our base. I know a lot of times kind of DIY or homemade Play-Dohs typically has flour and salt and several other ingredients in it. But today we're going to be rocking with our cornstarch and conditioner. Yes, curly girls, hey, another use for that Tresemme, you know, because some of us were rocking this Tresemme quite a bit back in the day. And I don't know how many of us actually use it in our hair these days, but guess what? We're going to do Tresemme. So our 2 ingredients, kid you not, might be at your home right now, and you might be able to pull these things out and do this activity right now, okay, with your family. I think it would be fun. So our 2 base ingredients is cornstarch, boom, okay, and the cornstarch brand doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, okay? Neither does the conditioner brand matter. Uh-oh, we got quite a few people joining in. Thank you, guys. Give me a like so I can see you, okay? This is a pretty basic conditioner. The main ingredient actually is going to be cetyl alcohol and other kind of stuff. And then for our alternative, hey, hi guys, hey Adrian. Alrighty, so then our alternative recipe is going to have a little bit of shaving cream in it. Again, I use shaving cream a lot, so you should not be surprised. And of course, our fun little, dear Holmes, yes, love, hello. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, so we've got, hello, we're gonna rock out, you know me better than to expect me to make any of this stuff without color in it. Color makes it better. That's just how I roll. All right. So once again, I'm thinking you may be able to have these items at home, or at least you can grab them on your next grocery store or Target or Walmart run, and it's not going to be like a stressful thing. You're not going to have to do this order on Amazon to do it. Cornstarch, any brand, plain old regular, just white cheap conditioner, and food coloring. That's what our first sample is going to be. That will be sample A. And yes, I have my marker because I'm going to label my stuff, because I don't do stuff without labeling, because then we're going to be just, it's going to be a problem. We don't do stuff without labeling, okay? And then our, we'll compare it to a sample that's got shaving cream in it. And you see here, you can kind of see in the mirror too what else is going on. All right, so let's go ahead and label. We're going to do A. Make sure you keep track. A will have cornstarch conditioner. Hi, Judah. Cornstarch conditioner and food coloring. Okay? Hi. Sample B. Cornstarch conditioner, food coloring, and a little shaving cream. And of course, I'm going to test that on your behalf. And you can make a decision as far as whether or not you want to try this at home. And please, if you try it, of course, you have to send me, you have to do comments and stuff and send me information and let me know how it went. And I'll talk about how to store it and all that whatnot. And then, you know, we'll shift to our this situation here a little bit later. And I'll talk to you about that. All right, so let's do, right, A and B. Okay, so we're going to take, first thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do this in a different order than I normally do. Normally I would add my food coloring once we had some liquid in there, but I don't want to put too much of my wet ingredients, right? This is kind of like baking. Too much of my wet ingredients in there, because if I put too much, then my Play-Doh is going to be like what? Comments, anybody? Y'all are pretty active today. So tell me what you think. Judah, tell me what you think is going to happen. Or Kai, I know Kai is on there somewhere. Or tell me what you think what would happen if I put too much of my liquid in. Think about it while I add. I'm going to make a blue for my friends that are team blue. I'm going to add actually 5 drops of blue inside of each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Once again, this is a little different from what I normally do. I normally would make sure that I have a wet ingredient before I start to add my food coloring, but I do not want too much of my liquid going inside of here. So I'm starting with my food coloring. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Is this a controlled experiment? Anybody? Is this a controlled experiment, or is this one of our pseudo experiments? Is it a controlled experiment, a pseudo experiment, or just a demonstration? Which one do you think it is? All right, I'm going to add my shaving cream, okay, into this sample. And not a whole lot, right? Just enough to possibly make it. I don't want to tell you what happens at the end, because you know I already tried this, right? Okay. And then we've got our Tresemme. Ooh la la. All righty then. Yes, I am old enough to know that Tresemme song, okay? And I literally have not seen Tresemme commercial in years, but that's okay. So, add some of this here. Once again, thank you for joining me. I am Miss Steph, okay? There's somebody on here who knew me before I became Miss Steph. Shout out, sis. It's nice to have you and your family on joining us. Thank you so much. This is Miss Steph from Triple F Empowerment Inc. We do fun, hands-on science experiments. Even while social distancing people, we're encouraging you to get your hands dirty and engage in science and experience what happens when you mix things together. Yes, fabulous. Okay, when you're mixing things together, right? So we have a sample A and a sample B. Okay, so I'm mixing this up. Do you notice, like, is our color starting to mix in just yet? No, right? Okay, so that means Probably need a little bit more liquid to get that to really dry, okay? Or rather wet. This is not quite borderline liquid, but all right, so I'm mixing it. I'm gonna mix it kind of down here so you can see it in the mirror, okay? Who remembers what color? Because it didn't seem to be displaying a color just yet. Who remembers what color I put in here? Ooh, it's coming together. By the way, this must be an exothermic reaction because it's warm. It's a little warm. Okay? And it does look like I have a little too much liquid in there, or rather wet ingredient in there, because I'm getting something that looks a little bit more like icing than Play-Doh. Look, does that look a little too much like icing? So what I'm going to do, right, is I'll get it all mixed up, okay? I'll mix it first, and then I'm going to add more of my cornstarch. Once again, thank you for joining me. And we are having our science fun. This is Saturday Science with Miss Steph. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for your patience, because you know normally we get on at 2:30, but a couple of technical difficulties. But we're going to work that out. And once we get those technical difficulties worked out, we are going to have even better quality of video for you. So I'm excited about that. I'm stirring this up. And similar to slime, I want it to pull away. I made flubber with my small group yesterday. For those of you who are in that group, you know who you are. What? Yes. And one of our things that kind of let us know that we were finished with mixing and that our compound had like the right consistency was that it was pulling away from the cup. For those of you who are just now joining us, we are trying out a new DIY or another make-at-home Play-Doh recipe. We're using cornstarch, food coloring, and believe it or not, some conditioner. Folks, I tell you, it's like, ooh, okay, there we go. Ooh, right? So you see now how it's pulling away. Trying to figure out how to get that so that you can see it better. How it's pulling away from my container. And this is sample A. This is with our basic stuff, with our 2 ingredients plus food coloring, right? So food coloring, of course, is a third ingredient, but it's not affecting my chemistry. So one of the things when we're making homemade Play-Doh, one of the challenges is it not being like, for those of you who've made it, know what I'm talking about, without it being like kind of gritty, right? Because you're putting salt in it to kind of preserve it, and it comes out with this very gritty kind of texture. It's not necessarily fun to play with, but guess what? This one is a nice and smooth consistency. And look, I've got my ball of Play-Doh, and you see how quick that was, right? It came together very quickly, and that's my first ball of Play-Doh. That's my sample A. So now let's try and see if we can whip up together sample B. And the difference between samples A and B, like I said, I know I keep saying it over and over again, but I know that we've got people that are just now joining us, and some of you may have like had to step away or whatever and so forth. And I just want to make sure that you remember our sample A, conditioner, food coloring, and cornstarch. Yes, I mean the stuff that you can buy like, you know, 4 boxes for $5 or whatever at the grocery store. It's almost always on sale. Almost always, okay? I'm telling you, And one of the things that we learned yesterday while making flubber was that just a little bit of cornstarch in a mixture can make a really big difference. Okay, and this is cornstarch as our base. And notice, right? You can tell, you all who are my Play-Doh experts, you can tell how that looks at a social distance. Looks, okay, so much like Play-Doh. I'm going to put it there so you can kind of see it in the mirror, right? I'm going to put that there. And it's nice and soft and just moist enough for me to mold it into a ball. And like I said, we'll talk before we sign off today about how to store it, because that is important as well. If you want to be able to play with it again later, because that's the whole point of making Play-Doh. So you can play with it. I mean, right? Am I wrong or am I right? Come on. Okay. Talk to me in the comments. All right. So we are still on. Just making sure we have a little not only technical difficulties, but the interwebs. We're having little issues early today. All right, so I'm stirring now my second combination. Okay, right, my second mixture. And the only difference, you know, we have the same 5 drops of blue food coloring. We've got that same amount of cornstarch, by the way. But the only difference was that I did a pretty healthy squirt of shaving cream, just wanting to see whether or not shaving cream will change the texture or the smell, or just change something about what we've got. And yes, I'm adding a little bit more of my conditioner inside of here. And if I need to, I'll do like I did with sample A. I'll add a little bit more cornstarch and make sure, like if it goes too far, I'll add cornstarch to make it kind of dry up a little bit. Okay, because this does seem to be kind of like something that needs to have too much and then you add it back, right? So smash, 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 smash. Now, as I'm stirring, if you want to put into the comments suggestions for next week or a request for over the next couple of weeks, because this is something that we're doing every Saturday at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. I come on here and we have some science fun, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so really honored to have a few folks on here from different time zones. All right, so once again, if you have requests, please make sure you put it in the comment box so that I can know what you are interested in, so that I can respect that. All right, so one of the things that I'm noticing, and one of the things I noticed yesterday when I made the second sample, was that it doesn't come together as easily. It doesn't I mean, there's no other way to say it. It doesn't come together as easily, and it's kind of, you see how it's kind of like little lumps of powder, right? Which makes sense because it does have cornstarch in it. But it's amazing how just one material can make a difference. Adding one additional chemical can make something better, or, you know, worse, or however you want to say that, better or worse, or simply just not meet the objective. Because when we're making Play-Doh and we're making DIY Play-Doh, we want Play-Doh that's going to be soft and easy to play with and comes together quickly, right? It's not hard to make. See how this is maintaining a nice ball, nice shape, and it is very soft. It's very soft and smooth, and it's very easy to turn it into a nice homogeneous mixture. Whereas this, I'm having to put in a lot of conditioner compared to, in proportion to the other things that are in there. Okay. Still adding, right? You've noticed that I've added conditioner like 3 or 4 times at this point. So it's really just a very different mixture. Yeah. Oh, hi, honey. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining me and saying hello. But yeah, so you can try this at home, or you can try different conditioners, right? Wouldn't that be another way to do this type of pseudo experiment, right? It's not really a controlled experiment. It's more of a pseudo experiment because it's not just a demo, because we do have 2 types of things that we're trying. We're comparing 2 different things. There we go. You notice that I'm finally able to get it to give me a nice, smooth, easy stir. It took that long, right? Took that long. There we go. And I'm definitely giving it a nice, serious Miss Steph stir, guys. So you know how sometimes I'll tell you, be very gentle, especially when we're stirring our slime, right? Or adding our different liquids and things to maybe our solids when we're trying to do certain kind of experiments. But this one, get in there and stir. Get in there and stir. Okay, and so now it's finally at that stage to where it's ready for me to add more cornstarch. It took a while to get there, right? So yeah, so while I'm doing that, I'm going to just introduce, put this in the mirror for you to kind of see, okay? I'm going to introduce the next activity. Or rather, let's just focus on this. Let's just focus on this. So yeah, so I'm stirring, stir, 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 stir. And there we go. And we're now finally ready. We're now finally pulling away from the cup, from my beaker, which is just a special science cup that has measurements on it, has like measurement hashes on it. Okay, that's why we use it in science. That's our point. We want to be able to measure things. Okay, so make sure we have an even comparison, right? That's how we can have controlled experiments. We have an even comparison. All right, so now I'm squishing this. This, I can tell you now, it's soft. It is soft, but it's not as pleasant to play with. It's almost, for some reason, kind of a little firmer. Okay, and it doesn't move the same way, okay, that my sample A did. Okay, so this is my sample B. All right, and I'm putting that to the side. Okay, yeah. Sample A, like I pick it up and it's fun. It's just a nicer experience. It's very smooth. Let's hold them both up for you. And upon first look, you would go, oh, but they look exactly the same. But I kid you not, there's a difference. They're a bit different. Okay, so you can try those 2. That V is nice. I mean, sorry, the A. The A is really really nice. Kind of Play-Doh, similar to Play-Doh. So for those of you that really enjoy Play-Doh, I hope that you will try this, and you can try it with different conditioners, whatever conditioner you have at home. Okay, and conditioner for my middle school and high schoolers that are on the live right now. I want you to flip over the back. Like if you look at the back and then kind of put some of these names, long chemical names, into Google, you can find out that conditioner has quite a few things in it that need to go right into Play-Doh to make it smooth. That's my hint. To make it smooth and to moisturize it. Okay, right? There is a really important liquid, trying not to give the whole thing away, that's inside of conditioner. All right, guys, so that took us a little while. I kind of figured it would. All right, so let's do our straw activity very quickly. I just want to do a little engineering for a moment and introduce this particular material to our online science community, or rather not material, but our, like this kit, okay? So these are straws, but these are a kind of a specific type of straw. I got on Amazon, okay? And this is straws and connectors, all right? Play clean. It's a play clean, education through play. I am not advertising for them, or they're not sponsored, or I don't know, whatever like the YouTubers say. Just like fill that in for me, okay? Because you guys know I'm a little new at this. But I just wanted to let you know and kind of ask you to consider how fun it might be to have either this type of item, or think about what you could do with a pack of just regular straws. What could you do? What could you build? And how would you connect it? That is what engineers do. Engineers see a problem, or really we call it a challenge in the engineering world, and think to ourselves, what's a solution to that problem, right? Like, just like I was telling you, like I'm working on doing some things. I'm trying to like figure out a way. I hope that you all are able to hear me. Uh-oh. I just had to turn up my volume on my end, so I hope you're able to hear me, right? I'm working on a way to provide you with even more higher quality video and really interesting activities. And that is thinking like an engineer. I'm thinking to myself, so here's a challenge, and what can I do to fix that challenge? So my challenge to you is, what would you do? How would you connect? What materials could you use to connect regular straws at home, right? Like if you don't have these straws, that's not my fun handy dandy. It's on the ground, obviously, and so that's why I'm reaching down. So forgive me for not showing you my fabulous fun smile that comes directly from Stephanie D. Farmer, directly from my mom. Exact same smile. Okay. So yeah, so that's my challenge to you. What could you do? Or maybe if you decided you didn't want to use straws, that's my idea, but I want you to be creative. What if you decided, I don't want to use straws and I want to use something else? You still have to think about, like, how would you connect? These are connectors. These are special connectors that are engineered, designed, right? Because engineers see a problem or challenge and they design, okay, a response, an appropriate response to that problem or challenge. After they do that design, they then attempt to build a prototype, and then they test that prototype. They test the prototype and they say to themselves, okay, did this meet? Did this respond? Did this do what was necessary, okay, to meet the challenge, to do what I wanted to do, okay? So that's my challenge to you all, to say, if you don't want to use the straws, okay, if you want to do some other type of piece of equipment, okay, say spaghetti, say pencils, say what else? Pens, markers. How would you connect those things? And what type of project would you do? What would you build? Okay. And once again, how would you connect those things? Because I have these special connectors here, and they're designed specifically to do this specific thing. Okay. Right. So that was just my quick little engineering moment. All right, fun. right? Just quick little engineering moments. Want you to be living, in a way that lets you be creative and in a way that lets you think through things as engineers and scientists. And like I said, creative, to be creative. You can be creative and be a scientist. Yes, it's actually mandatory. Ooh. It's actually something that scientists need. They need to be creative. If they're not creative, they're not making the new things that we might need for tomorrow, maybe not even tomorrow, this afternoon. Okay. So it's been fun joining you for this afternoon. Thank you so much for taking time out to hang out with me. We made two things today. We have our straw structure. We took an engineering moment and built something with straws and connectors. And remember, my challenge to you at home is to take something like these and build. And of course, remember, when you make your things at home, you're supposed to share them with me. Put them in the comments below from this video. Okay, this video you'll be able to access later. And at the beginning of the video, we took quite a bit of time to make our DIY Play-Doh, to make two types of Play-Doh with our base of cornstarch. And so I encourage you to try it at home. It should just be a pretty quick thing for you to try. Now, remember, I promised that I would tell you how to store it. I left this, not this exact thing, because I made this with you, but I made some the other day, and I left it on my trusty dandy scientist counter over here, and it was uncovered. And the very next day, less than like 10 hours later, because I woke up in the morning and checked on it, the very next day it was hard. Nothing like Play-Doh. Nothing like even slime. You know how slime sometimes can at least take like 2 days to get hard, but this will harden right away. So you need to store it in a sealed plastic bag, or if you have a container like this that has the top. And I would definitely consider storing it only for a couple of days and then making something new. But that in itself might be an experiment, might be a way to discover how long this type of Play-Doh lasts. Once again, it's been Miss Steph. It's been fun hanging out with you guys. My name is Stephanie Farmer, and I am the founder and executive director of Triple F Empowerment, Inc. We operate the fun and exciting Miss Steph Science Club. I invite you to check out our website, and I definitely invite you to give, because we're raising funds right now for a very important cause, our summer science club adventures and beyond. Okay? And yeah, until next time. Bye. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to put things in the comments so that I know what to do next week.